Hi, it's Lou Theodore, and this is day 38 of 100 videos in 100 days. And sorry, I look a bit bedraggled. I started recording this outside. We had a brief dry spell, and then the rain started up again. So had to hightail it back inside. It's been a really wet, windy day today. And apparently Storm Gareth is rolling in tonight, so we'll see whether that actually arrives. But I wanted to talk to you today about coming from a place of possibility and also about old stories, because this is something I've been, curious about, playing with in quite a big way recently. And I just think it's interesting maybe to share how that's working in my daily life for me, really. So coming from a sense of possibility isn't really, it's not positive thinking. I'm not a massive fan of that. It is looking away from the negative chatter, just not diving. I mean, you can't stop it popping up, but just not diving into the content of it so much, just letting it sort of walk by. But possibility for me more is getting curious, really, about what could be possible for yourself. I've become quite aware that I have a lot of old stories that continue to run. Old stories about what I find difficult, what I find easy, what I'm good at, what I'm not so good at. And actually these are based, a lot of them, way in the past. And as I embrace, I think, a new way of operating, as I follow my fun more, as I follow things that I passionately believe in and that really set me alight, those old stories are more and more out of date. And one of the old stories that was running was last week I did a pitch for a project and I had to follow it up today with like a proposal document. So a document outlining the scope of the project, the deliverables, a lot more detail about the project, the costings, timings, materials, approach, all that sort of thing. And the old story says that it always takes me 3 times as long to put those things together as I think it's going to take me. The old story says I struggle to find the right words and the right language for those sort of semi-formal documents. The old story says to me they've got to be presented in a certain way, which doesn't come naturally to me. And yada, yada, yada. And I knew I had to do the document today. So last night I was just having a bit of fun, really. It wasn't hard work. And I was just writing down a few things about, well, what if none of that old story is true anymore? What if actually I'm in a very different place now? And I've had different experiences, I have different beliefs. So that old story is actually irrelevant now. And what if it was possible? So I started making a list of, it could be possible that I could write this proposal effortlessly. It could be possible that I wouldn't struggle with the language at all. It could be possible that I could present it in a very individual way. And through that, they would see my passion and enthusiasm for the project. It could be possible that that individual way would really make my written documents stand out from the crowd. And all these I just did a sort of a brief list, really, of what could be possible. Because if that old story isn't true, what could be possible now? So I did that. Today rolls around. And I've got to get on with the proposal document. Do you know what? I finished it in less than 2 hours. And that was all the writing. It was checking it 2 or 3 times. It was finding some appropriate images for it. It was formatting it, saving it as a PDF and emailing it. All done. And it's sort of an example for me. I read about things that I find really interesting, and it could be self-development, it could be in any kind of arena. And what I like to do is, if it appeals to me, I like to test it. And I don't like to test it once, I like to test it quite a few times. So this approach is going to be carrying on a few different things, because I had a sense that actually once you saw through an old story that you've got running, once you saw that it wasn't true, that you could actually change it really, really quickly. And that's proved to be absolutely true today with this. So there are a few other things that I have coming up this week that are, have a bit of chatter going on around them, we'll say. So I'm going to try that approach again with them and just see, because there isn't, we make all sorts of assumptions based on these old stories, these old versions of us. In fact, sometimes they're not even ours. They're what people have told us about us. And they influence our lives, and they make things more difficult. And I don't think they need to. And I don't think you need to hang on to them. And you know what? It's really, really fun to play with this. Really fun. So I did that really quickly. I emailed it off and it was received. And the sense of completion and energy was great. And I just moved straight on to something else that I wanted to tackle today. And it was really fun. And like making the videos, or making a video a day has become my new normal, I'm trying to make this sort of working with a kind of a bigger sense of possibility. What if I am putting limits on myself? And what if I could achieve way more in a day than I think is possible? What if I could achieve way more in terms of getting fun projects than I think is possible? So I'm actively playing with it, and I will share the results of that, because I think it's interesting, isn't it? We all read these sort of books and articles and stuff which point at different things, and it's just fun if somebody's testing it to see how does it actually go, how does it go for, your average person. So this is Lou in her testing and reporting laboratory to say it's been a brilliant day, and I will see you all tomorrow, and hopefully Gareth won't arrive. And everybody will be safe and snug. But if it does arrive, hopefully everybody will continue to be safe and snug. So speak to you tomorrow.